Hello, true believers. It's time for another Heroes for Hire Comic Club comic review. I'm going to be reviewing Superman, Spiderman, the one of the biggest anticipated books of the year for superhero fans everywhere. This is the DC offering for the crossover. There will be a Marvel one in a few weeks, and I'm here to find out: is this a Super Collab or a Super Dud? And it's got a pretty steep price, but it is a thick book. It's a $8.99 cover price. This is not cover A. Cover A is on the thumbnail, but I got this cover. There was several covers to choose from, and I also got the J. Scott Campbell cover. I wanted to get the Adam Hughes one, but I've not gotten it yet. Maybe I'll pick it up. And but this is pretty cool. I'm so far, like, it starts out. We've got a hot start. Doc Ock is the first person we see. He teams up with Brainiac. So you have Superman, and then you got Superman and Peter Parker together working on a co-story with the Daily Planet and the Daily Bugle. So I'm already in. So and I got this great artwork by Jorge Jimenez. This story is written by one of my favorite writers of all time. Mark Waid is writing this. So real fun, nice little quips at each other. You get a little cool little team up with Brainiac and Doc Ock trying to destroy the world again as usual. We go into another story. Well, I'm not going to blow it for you, so I want you all to be able to read it. But there's some great artwork. Like here, look at this by Jorge Jimenez. And look at this, like his little thing right there at the end. That's great page. All right, then we got several stories in here, including Lois Lane and Mary Jane Watson together in The World's Finest. It's written by Tom King. The penciler Jim Lee, and Scott Williams is the inker. Then we have a team up with Superboy Prime and the Amazing Spider-Man, written by Christopher Priest, art by Daniel Sampere. And then we have Superboy and Spider-Man 2099. And this is written by Sean Murphy, and he's also the artist. We also have Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen and Carnage, and that was written by Matt Fraction with art by Steve Lieber. And we have Jonathan Kent and Ben Parker. That's written by Jeff Lemire with art by Rafa Sandoval. Then we have Bias, the Daily Planet, and the Daily Bugle. That's written by Greg Rucka and artist Nicola Scott. Then we have a really interesting Power Girl and the Punisher Blind Date, written by Gail Simone with Belen Ortega doing the art. We've got some beautiful Jim Lee art with Mary Jane and Lois Lane. They're kind of comparing notes on what it's like to be married to a superhero. They're fighting a Sentinel on Brooklyn Bridge, I guess. And this one entitled World's Finest. Some nice little back and forth with Mary Jane and Lois Lane, who are the main characters. And you kind of have, like, we see Superman and Spider-Man, but they're like kind of just fighting the Sentinel the whole time. And we also, why is the Sentinel there? Well, surprise, surprise. Our favorite mutant Cajun is there. Remy LeBeau, a.k.a. Gambit. So we get a cool little thing from Gambit. Then we got Black Suit Spidey shows up with Superboy Prime, and it's what you expect out of Superboy Prime. He breaks the fourth wall a lot. He talks about, you're not real, you're a comic book. He's telling Peter, you got the symbiote. You don't know it's a symbiote yet, but they're fighting the high evolutionary. And I won't really get into more of that, but we also have an interesting team up here for Spider-Man 2099 with Superboy. And there is Spider-Man 2099, but also not just Superboy, because they end up meeting Batman Beyond. So that's pretty cool. So it's an all right story. The only one I really cared for much was the Jimmy Olsen Carnage, although it is kind of interesting. He has a run-in with Carnage and apparently thinks it's Spider-Man. That one's all right. Then there's another one here. The one I didn't really like was Jonathan Kent, Ben Parker. It wasn't really one of my favorites, to be honest with you. But it was art written by Jeff Lemire. And I usually like Jeff Lemire, but I wasn't a big fan of that one. But, we don't have to be a fan of all of them. But, and then we had this one. I kind of like this one a little bit with Frank Castle meets Power Girl. They kind of go on a date, though, at the end of it, I guess. But he doesn't really get to use his guns a lot, which I think is kind of lame, because you got to let Frank use his guns. But Overall, it was kind of fun. It was better. Okay. The thing is, I had the Marvel uh, Daredevil Batman crossover and the Batman Daredevil crossover DC. I thought both of those were pretty weak. I didn't think they were that great. I was hoping that this didn't end up like this with this book, and I was pleasantly surprised. I highly recommend this for Superman and Spider-Man fans, DC and Marvel fans alike, because we all need to be able to co-mingle and get along. Everybody tries to do it like they're in a gang, like we're in West Side Story. I'm on the DC gang. I'm on the Marvel gang. I'm on the comic book gang, and I'm all for this book. I think I love DC and Marvel the most, maybe a little bit more Marvel, but like I love DC comics as well. And I love this comic. I thought it was some great little stories. There's a couple of stories I didn't particularly care for that much, but overall, I give this a strong score, B plus. It's a pretty good score, I think. It's they're little short stories. I wish we could have had a full book of Spider-Man and Superman fighting together side by side, but it was a pretty decent story. It wasn't real short, but a lot of other ones were real short. I'd like to see how that date went with Power Girl and Punisher. We don't get to see much, but I do recommend this. It's a fun read. I mean, it's a steep price, but you get a lot of bang for your $8.99. Thick book, as you can see, it's pretty thick, it's pretty hefty. So, and it's a fun read. If you've always wanted to see these characters together again, here you go. And you can pick it up now. Still, I'm sure they got some of the newsstand, several covers to choose from. So, thanks for watching, and let me know what you thought of Superman, Spider-Man. If you thought it was better than Batman, Deadpool, because I sure did. But until next time, true believers, Excelsior.
Come, son of Jarrell! Kneel before Zod! Snoochie boochies.